What's up, everyone? Welcome to another video. Ooh, if you are new here, my name is Jessica. Hi, welcome on in. We do drugstore makeup videos here. We do dupes. We also do high-end stuff, Sephora hauls and stuff, but I also do vlogs. I'd love to have you join the family, subscribe, stick around. But today's video, we are talking about drugstore makeup that I think is underrated. So I would say half of these are ones that are generally, I feel like, under the radar, not a lot of people talk about. And then the other half are ones that when they first launched, they got a little buzz and then it all fizzled. No one talks about them anymore, but I still think they're really, really good. So we're showing these products some love today. So we'll be getting ready together and just chit-chatting about really good drugstore makeup. I also want to thank today's video sponsor, which is Ritual. That is the multivitamin for me. I've been taking this for years. I take their Essential for Women multivitamin 18+. My husband takes their Essential for Men. I love that it is clinically backed and it is formulated with key nutrients to help fill in common dietary gaps. For me, I felt like a lot of the multivitamins as I started doing research a few years ago, they just seemed packed with so many things that I was like, do I even need all of this? I love that it's designed to support foundational health. So it's got key nutrients to support bone health, brain health, blood building, and antioxidant support. And it's non-GMO, it is vegan friendly, gluten-free, and major allergen free. So one of the big reasons I fell in love with Ritual in the first place was that everything that's in there is explained on their site, what's in the vitamin, what it's supposed to do for you, like why did they put it in there? So there's not all this extra stuff that you don't actually need. But on top of that, they show where it's sourced from. You can trace it back to where it came from. And I just think that's so cool. I love that visibility with that. But another big thing for me, you can take it any time of day. You can take it any time of day. You can do it on an empty stomach. It is designed to have a delayed release. So it's really gentle on an empty stomach. I typically take mine at night, which quite frankly, we've started eating earlier and earlier with the kids. So now we're eating at 5:30. So by the end of the night, I am hungry. So I'm taking this on an empty stomach and I've never had any issues with an upset tummy. So I love the convenience of it. It is delivered to your door monthly. My thing is, with something like this, if I don't have it automatically coming to me, I will add it to my grocery list and then a week or two will go by, I'll finally get it. So then I've gone a few weeks without taking the multivitamin that I really do feel like is good for me. And so having it delivered every month has kind of eliminated that issue that I know that I would have. So this is the biggest sale I've seen Ritual do all year. It's actually bigger than their New Year's sale they usually do. So this is the time to not miss out on. So you can get 40% off your first order by going to ritual.com/jbraun40. You can use my code jbraun40 as well at checkout. I'll put the QR code on the screen if you'd rather scan it. I'll have the link below. I'll have it in a pinned comment. You can't miss it. But seriously, this is the best deal I've seen them have in all of the years I've worked with them. And so if you've been thinking about it, I should maybe up my multivitamin game, this is the time to do it. I really don't think you'll be disappointed. And they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not totally satisfied, you can get your money back, which I think is really cool. It shows that they really do stand by their products. So thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring this part of the video. Let us talk about some makeup. Okay, the impetus for this video, I was inspired by, I know Andrea Montiliano just did one similar to this. I can link hers below. And I feel like I saw another person, but either way, that inspired me. And then the main product that I was it was the first one I thought of when I was planning for this video was this one here. This is the Neutrogena Mineral UV Tint SPF. Now, if you've watched my channel, it won't seem underrated because I have talked about it a lot, but I haven't heard many people talk about this at all. And I think it is so good. And you guys know I've tried a lot of SPFs and a lot of the ones that I love have that higher price tag. But this is one of them that is a lower price tag and it is gorgeous, just so good. So I have the light tint. It's a little bit light for me right now, but it's a tint. It's got some coverage, but it's not like a crazy amount of coverage, but I'll usually do a couple layers of it just to make sure. I do think this can tend to have a white cast when you're first applying it, which as a general rule, I just skip over ones that have a white cast, but it makes my skin look so pretty like a minute after it sinks in, that this is my favorite thing to throw on right before I do errands and you know what I mean, where I'm not necessarily wearing makeup. I just want some protection on my face. Did I say sun protection or some protection? Both. Anyway, and this is just, it's my go-to. I literally don't even keep it in my vanity. I keep it by where I brush my teeth in that drawer because that's where I end up using it more than ever. And it's definitely one of my most utilized products. So this is after one layer. I'm going to put another layer on, but I do think it, again, it's a little light for me right now. I would be interested to try the next shade up, but I don't know. There's something about it. That little bit of coverage and the little bit of like glow and moisture it gives, I think is so, so pretty. SPF 30, by the way, and it is titanium dioxide 3% and zinc oxide 21%. So with my self tanner, it definitely stands out, which is why I think if I got the next shade up, it would work better for me on these days. But we're putting makeup on top of it anyway, so doesn't matter. But do you see what I mean by like that healthy glow? Okay, I am so excited to dive into all of this. So the foundation I wanted to show is from No. 7. And I think as a general rule, the brand No. 7 is a little bit underrated. It's a little bit harder to find. It's not sold absolutely everywhere. Walgreens, you can always find it. But I feel like randomly when I try one of their products, I almost always love it when it comes to their makeup. I like some of their skincare too. So this is their Restore and Renew Multi-Action Serum Foundation. So they generally tend to, their shades tend to be on the more neutral side. I have not had enough coffee today, you guys. Which I think is a part of why I tend to like a lot from the brand, because a lot of drugstore brands can lean yellow and in tone when it comes to their foundation. So it can be hard to find a shade match if you're more neutral, or at least you want a more neutral look. And I just think the finish of this is so pretty. I would say max medium coverage, but it so easily blends in. I just think it's just so pretty. Again, not my self tanner shade, so we'll bronze it up, baby, but you're just gonna have to deal for a little bit. I know if I was watching this video, it'd be driving me nuts that it's like so far off. I'll shut up about it. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like this brand is so good. My favorite under eye setting powder is the No. 7 under eye setting powder, which I might end up pulling. It's literally, I was filming with it just yesterday. I've used that stuff for years. I have not bought, I think there's a new version of it now, and I'm terrified to buy it because I'm terrified that they changed the formula, but I need to make it a point to buy it and try it because I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys, and I am curious too, but I'm like, it's the best under eye setting powder ever. I hope they did not screw it up. And I think this foundation just toes the line between being not terribly matte at all. It's not a matte foundation, but it's not so hydrating and glowy. Like, I put this on top of a very hydrating base, and I feel like it just kind of matched that hydration level, but it didn't add more to it. Now, I always set it with powder anyway, but I would say I pretty much daily set my T-zone, so it's not, abnormal. And it's one of those products that just makes your skin look like skin. And I think that is what I love so much about it. Getting back into like high messy buns, remember those? I'm having a moment with them. All right, concealer. This was the quickest grab out of my concealer drawer because I was like, nobody talks about this concealer, but it is so good. It's from the brand Revolution. It's their Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer. This was a slow burn for me. It took me a while to realize how much I loved this. And once I finally was like, it's always this that I'm wearing that I end up liking the way it looks. It's super thin and lightweight, but still a little moisturizing, you can see. Again, it's got a little more of a neutral tone. This shade is R289A. That can't be right. That might be right. I'm sorry, I can't give you any more information. Boy, I'm gonna have to repurchase this, and there's no way that's the shade name. I just feel like this concealer is easy. You can tap it in with your fingers, you can tap it in with a brush, with a sponge. Sponge maybe not so much, because I feel like because it's so lightweight, it would take up too much, but this is one I like the fingers, but I like the brush a little bit more. And it still provides coverage, but it's so lightweight and so easy to blend. It's kind of incredible. A lot of lightweight concealers like this that I've tried, I'm like, But this, it's almost has the consistency of a really lightweight foundation, you know what I mean? And I just love it. I love it. I'd be curious if this were in different packaging. Like this is in that classic sponge tip type one that's so popular for everything. Like there's literally at least one more product we're going to talk about that has that kind of applicator. I'd be curious if I would like it as much if it were in a classic concealer doe foot wand situation, because I think part of what's so nice about this is that it applies such a light, pretty layer. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's part of actually what I like about it, even though it drives me nuts that it gets messy. So really a big fan. Revolution you can get at Ulta. I guess I should probably check that this is still available. because it was a while ago I got it, and I feel like Revolution's one of those brands that they like take things off the shelves all the time, and they're just like constantly rotating products. Yep, $10 at Ulta. Oh, they sell it at Target too, and on Amazon. Dang. So there we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I bought this online, so I'll figure out what actual shade I got because I know a lot of you guys are near my skin tone and you'd be curious. Okay, so continuing on, I didn't really have anything in the brow category. I'm just going to throw in nothing that's underrated. I feel like a lot of the brow products I love are pretty well known, so I'm just throwing on the Essence Make Me Brow. So I had two palettes. I was torn between like which one to mention, so I'm just going to talk about both. The NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette. I recently discovered, and I have so been loving. I certainly don't use every shade in this, but the ones I do use, I really like. I mentioned when I think it was a first impressions video, that this is not a palette that like, if you want the like thick type shimmer shadow, this is not gonna give that to you. It's kind of somewhere in between. I like both, and I can definitely appreciate this formula. So if you're someone that's wanting like a crazy punchy shimmer, you're not gonna like this. But for everyone else, you might. But I feel like the mattes are super blendable. I've been reaching for some of these lighter colors when I'm wearing no eyeshadow and I just like put it all over the place. I haven't dipped as much into the darker colors other than for like lining my eyes, which I can use today. I'm using an eyeliner, but I might throw a little bit of the shadow on too. So I'm gonna do just the look I've been doing when I use this palette generally, which is the shimmer. This is probably the same thing I did in that video, honestly. But this shimmer right here is so pretty because it's shimmery, but it's a little bit deeper than it appears in the pan, but I think it's really pretty, especially heading into like fall. It's like just slightly deeper, but still really light and shimmery. And I love this kind of rosy. Yeah, I think this is exactly what I did. Sorry, I'm showing you this twice. So, darn it, Jessica, you should have used the other palette you're gonna talk about. Maybe I'll grab a shadow from that one. I recently downloaded the Walmart app to my phone. I am someone that is like, when I was younger, like I feel like I was at Walmart all the time, but there's not a Walmart super close to where I live. So in my adult years, I've been to Walmart only a few times, but I certainly place Walmart online orders. And there's so many makeup brands that you can only get at Walmart, or it's like a lot cheaper at Walmart, whatever. And so I found myself like consistently like on my browser on my phone. And I'm like, Jessica, why have you not downloaded the Walmart app? So I finally did. And it is trouble because I have built that cart up and I'm like, oh gosh, I haven't checked out. I'm like sitting on it, but I'm like, oh man. Because the next brand we're going to talk about here, I'll go ahead and bring it up, is the Lottie London, the Rose Golds palette. One of you guys actually let me know about this and you were like, Jessica, you will love this palette. So, and I don't know that I actually ended up responding to you. So if that's you, I'm so sorry. Thank you for the recommendation. I ended up buying it and I love it. These shimmers are punchier than the NYX ones, especially this gold shimmer here. But they're still that thin, lightweight formula. But look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. And then I love this like pinky rose down here. I've been using that a lot all over the lid and in the crease as just like a pinky eye look. This again is not going to be like the punchiest thing you've ever used. I feel like the shadows are soft and blendable. The shimmers are really pretty. And I just think this colorway here is gorgeous if you're into these shades. So wanted to mention this as well because I haven't heard a lot about these palettes and I've really been enjoying it the past few weeks. Maybe we'll tap a little of that really pretty shimmer on the center. It has a little more pizzazz. So the eyeliner is this Essence Extreme Lasting Eye Pencil. This is waterproof. I will say this, I really like this liner, but I almost didn't mention it because I'm a broken record. The Sephora 12-hour liner is the best one I've tried. And it's not that much more expensive than this. Or I should say this, because Essence is a little bit cheaper. It's still, the Sephora one is still like around $10 or $12. So I would consider that drugstore pricing, and it is the best one. So if you're watching this, I couldn't mention that because I don't feel like it's underrated anymore, but it is my favorite. But this one's also really good if you can get Essence where you live. It's super dark and creamy. This is a brown one in the shade, but First Espresso. I feel like it's pretty waterproof, and I don't think it transfers terribly from the waterline, but again, it's just not as good as that Sephora one, man. So dark, so creamy, and I feel like it smudges out pretty well if that's what you want, because it stays creamy for a minute while you kind of work. My mirror is like 100 light years away from me right now. I don't even know how I'm doing this. It's not going over the shadow the way I remember. Maybe I take it back. I was using this last week a couple times to remind myself and like make sure that I wanted to mention it in this video. And I was impressed with like the waterline. Like I said, it worked pretty well, but for whatever reason with this eyeshadow, it's like I can't get it to, when I'm blending it, do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, is there something about this? No, now it's doing it. Maybe I just didn't have enough on. Anyway, did I even mention this in that Essence video? I like last month did a best and worst of Essence. We talk about like literally everything I've tried, the best products, like, oh my gosh, you have to run out and buy it, and the worst, and then the kind of in-betweens. So if you are interested in more from this brand, because I do think Essence is one of my favorite drugstore brands, their prices have always remained so low, and they have some of my like holy grail top recommendation type products. So definitely give that video a watch. I will link it below if you want to watch it after this, because it's a gold mine treasure trove of some good goodies. Okay, it blended a lot better on this side. I think I just didn't have enough over there, because I'm like, I have not experienced that with this. And again, like finding a dark brown that's this dark is so exciting. All right, we have got to powder this face, because that SPF and the number 7, I just feel it in my bones. We need to powder this. So the powder, I had to look up that it's still being made, and I have this weird sinking feeling that it is about to be discontinued because it's starting to be sold out at certain retailers and only certain shades. I still love this, so if you can get your shade and your hands on it, I would. I looked online and CVS's website had them, and I have a feeling you could probably find these in stores in general at drugstores. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. I love this stuff so much, and I feel like when it first launched, it wasn't so underrated. But then other things came on the market, and they had like the red one, and I think a lot more people liked that. I liked this one the best because I felt like it was mattifying without being overly mattifying. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I feel like it adds a little bit more coverage if you want that, but it does everything right. And I love the name Creamy Powder Foundation. It just sounds good to me. I don't know. And I feel like it describes it pretty well. So yeah, if you can get your hands on this, it is one of my favorite powder foundations still. I have 2 bronzers to mention, but one of them, it's been a while since I've retried, so I want to retry it here on camera. So it may stand as underrated. It also might not. This is the Essence Baby Got Bronze. It wasn't that long ago that I had this, but I was using it quite a bit for a few weeks, and then I kind of stopped. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I really still like it, but I'm trying to remember how I ended up best using it those weeks, because there was definitely a learning curve with this, you know what I mean? So I remember not to go straight onto the face because it was way too much. But this is definitely more of a contour shade, and I kept meaning to get another color. But if you really just focus this, yeah, this is what I remember. If you really just focus this towards the back of your cheeks, it really does give, let me show it on the better lit side. It really does give the illusion of a shadow, which is what a contour, of course, is supposed to do. This shade, though, is like a lot. And that's why I was like, I don't know, like, should I mention it? Have you tried the other shades, and are they good? Because I feel like the formula of this is good, at least in my experience so far. But again, I'm not putting this everywhere. I really just put it back there. You see what I mean, though? Anyway, so I like it, but with that caveat of I want to try other shades, and you really want to like be particular about where you put it. But the other one I wanted to mention is no stranger to my channel here, but it's the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. It's this big honkin' daddy right here. It's an all-around really good formula. It's easy to work with, but just it can have a lot of pigment, so you want to kind of be careful. But I feel like it's a smooth powder, and so when you put it on, it can look really smooth on your face and not, I don't know, not look quite as patchy as some other ones that I've tried, especially at the drugstore. But I've learned that I like to just kind of tap it on instead of swiping it on so much. And I feel like the staying power of this is really nice as well. The tone is nice. It's not too orange, not too cool. Yeah, I just like the way that looks. So there you go. Big fan. That is literally a couple dollars. I'm realizing we have not put on mascara. So this is the Maybelline Full and Soft mascara. And I feel like in some circles, this isn't quite as underrated. Like, people that love this mascara are ride or die for this mascara. Like, this is the one. They've repurchased it for a decade or 2 decades or 3. And it is just like their number one baby, you know? So for me, I do think it's underrated in that there are so many mascaras that are popular right now that give this soft look that are more expensive than this, that people are like, oh my gosh, I swear by that. But this does the same thing, and it's been around forever. And so if you are into that kind of pillowy lash look where it doesn't totally scream mascara, do you know what I mean? Like, you can tell you're wearing it, but it's not spidery, it's not clumpy, it's just a very soft look. You would love this mascara if you've not tried it. Like I said, it's been around for 100 years. But do you see what I mean? It's just like a really soft, pretty look. This would never be my #1 mascara, and that's just because of I know what I like, and I like a little more volume. As I've mentioned a lot lately, some of y'all, this is exactly what you want. And so, yeah, I would give this mascara a try. Maybe you're someone that you like this kind of mascara for like day to day, and then you like something more voluminous when it's like an event or you're going out for the evening or something like that. I don't know, going to a parent-teacher conference. What are you doing? I loved, back when I used to teach, well, I did not love parent-teacher conferences because I would be a nervous wreck the whole time, which is crazy because, you know, I'd already met the parents but it was, I don't know. I was also younger. Like, I would be such a different teacher now. But anyway, my point is I loved it because it was so fun just talking with the parents a little bit more and seeing like some of them are just coming from work and like people would be in scrubs or they'd be in a suit or they were coming from a workout class. Like, everyone's life was so different. And it was so cool to see just how the parents arrived. Like, what they were, as weird and shallow as it sounds, like what they were dressed like, all of that. I was fascinated by that. Anyway, so yeah, I do think it's a pretty look. Okay, I do want to put on that under eye powder. I don't love the Age Perfect powder foundation on my under eye. It's just a little bit thicker, so it's not really what I want under my eye. So this is that #7 one I was talking about. I think even the new packaging is different. It's just the best. This and the LYS powder, when it comes to like pressed powders, 2 of my absolute holy grail under eye setting powders. They're very, very similar. Oh, we're getting into the juicy. So this Revolution Bright Light Highlighter is a newer addition to my collection, but it's in the Divine Dark Pink, and so it's more of a blush tone. So I'm gonna treat this as an underrated blush, if you will. It definitely is absolutely a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, at least that's the intention. I did do a video comparing this to that, so if you wanna see it, I can link it below. It is gorgeous. It might, and even in that video, pretty sure I said this might be prettier than the Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like it might have like highlighted my texture less. Like, it was a little bit smoother on the skin than the Charlotte Tilbury one was. And I've loved that Charlotte Tilbury stuff for a long time. You know what? I'm gonna try on this side with my favorite blush brush. I'm just gonna kind of get some on and try it that way. I haven't really done that with this product. Oh, so pretty. But like with this, you don't need a highlighter unless you want one. Definitely got that glow built in, but again, it's super messy, so I have to just like straight up wipe it off before I put the lid on. So pretty. I feel like it can be a little much if you're not careful, but I like the like overly blush look. I think it's really pretty. I'm gonna get a little bit, just gonna kind of blend that in a bit. So a lip liner I love, and I'm not sure how long this particular one has been around. I feel like this line is not new, but you know how like brands will like repackage something just a bit and call the line a new name, but it's like basically what they'd already have. I think that might be the case with this, but I really like it. So this is the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Sharpenable Lip Liner. First of all, I think the packaging is just really pretty. I just sharpened it. It sharpens just fine. It's like a harder wood, so it feels weird to sharpen, but it sharpened really well. And this shade I have is like the perfect nude pink. This is in Mastermind. And it's so good. I'll just color my whole lips in with this if I want, but I am gonna show you a lip color lipstick. See what I mean? It's like the perfect, ugh. And it's creamy without being too creamy, because I can appreciate a creamy lip liner, but sometimes they're just so creamy that it's almost like unmanageable and it's defeating the purpose of using a lip liner. And this is one that is creamy, but not overly so. So the lipstick is the Revolution lipstick in Chauffeur. Now, I will say this. This shade I don't think is underrated. It's known to be a dupe for, I think, Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, but it's the formula of this that I think is so nice. It's just a traditional kind of satiny matte lipstick formula, but I think it's really nice. And beyond this shade, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the line itself, but I do really like this shade. It's such a perfect everyday pinky nude color for me, and it goes really well with that lip liner. So if you were wanting a new combo for the fall, I feel like, I mean, for any time of year, I feel like this is such a perfect everyday combo, and it's not gonna break the bank. So very comfortable. Definitely, I was wearing this yesterday all day and I was trying to pay close attention. Definitely you're gonna wanna reapply. Like after 5 hours, you're gonna have that line on the inside and it's gonna be worn away. But I don't think it wore away any wildly different than like high-end lipsticks I like, you know what I mean? So you're gonna wanna reapply, but I love it. I think it's just such a pretty everyday lipstick. So let me know if you've tried that line and you've tried other shades, what your favorite shades are, because I would love to try another one. Now, a lip gloss that I love is the, I'm like it's kind of getting gross because I've had like color and then but it's the CoverGirl Yummy Gloss. This, I feel like when it first launched not long ago, everyone was talking about it and then no one was talking about it, and I still love it. It's just an easy everyday gloss, smells kind of coconutty. It's not sticky. I'm gonna actually wipe it off this time. It's not sticky at all. It feels more like a lip oil, and it's, I don't know, it's just so comfy. And it doesn't, because this particular one in Let's Get Physical is not colored. Again, the color you're seeing there is actually not, it's close, but some of that is from like lip color that I just still had on it because I'm disgusting. Anyway, I really like this line, so I highly recommend it. It's a great purse gloss to just throw in. You don't need a mirror. You can throw it on. It makes your lips look so juicy and pretty. So yeah. Another product I'm not going to put on, but I'm really enjoying is the Hard Candy. It's like their new lip line. I'll link the exact one because I don't have the name, but this is called the shade Meet Cute. And it's very much like a tinted lip balm, but it's a little bit thicker. It kind of reminds me, and I might test it out as a dupe. It reminds me of a lot of those plumping lip gloss stick things, like the Tarte one, the Makeup by Mario one. It reminds me a lot of that formula. So really enjoying this shade. I like because it's kind of, I wear a lot of like nudes like this, and I like that this is a little bit more pinky, but it's still wearable if you have a little bit more pigmented lips. Anyway, I love that line. It's newer, but I feel like it's so good. And Hard Candy is one of those brands I forget about. They're another Walmart brand, right? Like that, Lottie London, where they're easier to find at Walmart than anywhere else. But yeah, I really like that formula. So, was that fun? I had fun. I forgot about my coffee here. I just feel like when I was filming my coffee chat, like 10 years on YouTube chat, we get deep, we get emotional, but I share a lot of like the behind the scenes. I air some dirty laundry. Like it's quite a video if you want to check it out. But in that, I was talking about why I had started my channel at all 10 years ago. And a big reason was because I felt like there wasn't enough drugstore content out there. And I was like, I could do this. So I go into more detail in that video, but this was really exciting to do because I filmed that 10 years video yesterday. So it's been very much on my mind. So cheers to Drugstore Makeup still being just so good. In fact, so much better than it was 10 years ago. Future Jessie popping in to thank Ritual again for sponsoring a part of this video. If you're ready to start your own ritual and give it a try, this is the best time to do it because it is the biggest percentage off I've seen them do. It is 40% off your first order. You can do that by scanning the QR code that's right there on the screen, or you can go to ritual.com/jbraun40 and use code jbraun40 at checkout. I'll have the link and everything right in the top of the description box and in the pinned comment. Yeah, so if you're watching this and maybe it's like the first video of mine you're seeing and you're still watching, cool, thanks. I hope you subscribe. I do vlogs on my channel, and I also do a lot of makeup content like this, a lot of drugstore makeup stuff. So I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, stick around. I would also, guys, I am hanging out on my Instagram stories daily. So if you are not over there yet, I'm at It's Jessica Braun over there. I would love to have you join the family. I feel like that's where I interact with you guys more in real time and more often. Versus these videos that only go up a couple times a week. So anyway, I love you all, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.